Okay, baie welkom aan almal van julle. Ek weet daar's 'n klomp wat gesê het hulle gaan op die recording luister. Oh, I must do it in English. There's a lot that's going to do it on the recording. So, yes, let's start. I want to introduce you to Belinda. She's a woman in Vanderbijl Park that has wolves on her property. And she's going to share some of her wisdom around wolves. So Belinda, can I hear from you? Where did your love for wolves come from? And how did you get involved? And why did you decide to take wolves onto your property?
Well, for those people that don't know me, I'm also an angelic medium and a psychic medium. So I give people messages from their angels and loved ones. And I always tell people the wolves just showed up like the angels did. I didn't go looking for them, I didn't expect them. They were gifts from spirit. So after my dad passed away, I went into a deep depression and I realized that I don't have joy in my life anymore. But I also know that when you manifest, you can't ask for something that you don't know how it feels or whether you still believe in it. So I always ask the angels for the experience of it first. So I asked to have the experience of joy in my life again. And because they do have a sense of humor, it came in the shape of a wolf. So obviously in the beginning, we did our research. My husband's an engineer, so research is his thing. And everything on the internet says, don't do it. Whatever you decide, don't do it. But I trust spirit. And I don't believe anything just shows up for no reason. So since the wolves have shown up, I've seen I was guided into a deeper understanding of nature and communicating with animals. So before the first wolf arrived, I already communicated with my cats and the people's animals, camels, horses, all sorts. And this wolf I also received from people, clients with a wildlife farm, and I've been communicating with their animals for like 10 years already. So then my first wolf was a gift. And from there, it sort of escalated. And it was a real learning curve because I'm very much a cat person. So it was very interesting to learn and also learn their nature, to know what they need, not just treat them like dogs, and to really be aware of their needs also on an animal communication level, and also receiving the guidance that they gave me. So it has been a whole process.
Yeah, wow, that's interesting. So where in South Africa do you get wolves, and are they actually adapted to live here? Well, I assume they are, because I've been in the wild and in many game reserves, and I've never seen a wild wolf. So, is the climate for them okay, or how do they survive here? And do you get wolves in South Africa in the wild?
I believe that very, very, very early there was something like wolves, because you can see it on a lot of the town names. On the old town names, there are names that include the word wolf. But it's like in Europe, they were hunted and killed. I don't know if it's documented that you did get a type of African wolf. I don't know. I believe it's like the jackal, probably. Maybe we had our own version, or maybe most of them were, killed or either made domestic and then breeded with other dogs, and it became something weird. So it's like in Belgium, actually, there's a group of 13 wolves that have returned in some way, and they are in Limburg and causing havoc. And luckily, the state there is aware and trying to contain the situation with livestock and things like that. So it's interesting that wolves are coming back, but I don't think there are any in South Africa that hasn't been imported. And unfortunately, it is a big problem in South Africa because everybody wants to keep an exotic animal. Also, like the lions and tigers, is just too easy in South Africa. So a lot of wolf sanctuaries has come into being because it's a real problem, because people think it would be cool to own a wolf or a wolf cross. There's a lot of wolf crosses that they cross with huskies or German shepherds or malamutes. So they look wolf and they still have some of the tendencies. So they still have some of the behavior patterns that makes them difficult to keep. And so people aren't educated. So it is a problem, and thus so many wolf sanctuaries, such a problem. And you know, when the SPCA gets hold of something like looks like a wolf breed, they just automatically put them down because they feel they can't be reowned, which is, yeah, it is possible that they can't be reowned. I believe that, you know, it's like with dogs. If you get the wrong breed of dog for your situation, you'll also have a problem. So, but wolves do have extra needs. You can't keep them like a guard dog or do the usual stuff that you would do with a dog. Just not at all. Believe me, I tried it with Odin, my first wolf, and I had to learn. It was a learning curve to see that I need to adapt to allow them to be completely wolf in my space. So I think the wolves were brought into South Africa and, like I said, then crossbred, and also really a problem because there's just too many, and the people that breed with them don't care where they go or who adopts them. It's causing havoc.
Yeah, I can perhaps just add to that story. Here at Gecko Creek, where I'm living at the moment, I'm actually looking after a retreat center in the Cederberg. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But about 10 years ago, when I came here for the first time, there was a real wolf that lived here. And the owner of the place told the story that there was people that took a little baby wolf as they wanted it as a pet. But then when the wolf grew older, they actually didn't know how to handle the wolf and it just caused havoc. So then, because he was in the wilderness here, he adapted the wolf. But he himself had his problems with the wolf and had to learn to work with the wolf energy. And it became quite violent in a way. And then someone told him that he had to take the wolf into the field and wee on the wolf to just show that he's the alpha. And he was too afraid to do that. But one day he just couldn't handle this wolf and he walked into the field and he weed on the wolf and the wolf submitted. And then the wolf really lived here with people. It is a retreat center where a lot of people actually come to visit. And you couldn't touch the wolf. The wolf was doing his own thing, but he wasn't violent and he was submissive to the owner of this place. So I don't know if that's your experience around that. In the meantime, the wolf died. But the 2 or 3 times that I was here with the wolf, it was really wonderful to be exposed to that energy of the wolf. And you knew his place and you wouldn't treat it like a puppy or like a little dog or a big dog. He's got his own personality and his own way of behaving.
Yes. On that note, you know that the whole thing surrounding the what we believe of the alpha male isn't true.
Okay, tell me
So
more about that. I'd like to understand more about that because we have it in
okay,
Purple
so
Bay with the baboons as well.
The whole thing about the alpha male and the female alpha female wasn't completely true. It was written about by a guy that studied wolves in captivity. And it was not a family, it was all kinds of wolves put together. And obviously, dominants were asserted, just like dogs do. There's a dominant male, dominant female, and then the hierarchy. But it's actually in the wild, it's a family. It's the father and the mother. The father is the alpha, the mother is the alpha female. They stay together for life and they have puppies and the family grows. And of course, the puppies have to be dominated when they are small. That's probably why that wolf turned out like it did, because it never felt that it belonged to
Belong
a
to
pack.
somewhere.
It was a single wolf. And you have to teach the puppies from a very early age that you are dominant. I teach them that I'm the mother wolf, and all the other wolves are in a rank beneath me. But there's always love in a wolf pack, there's always respect, but they have to know their place. And so when other wolves grow older, male wolves, they go out onto their own to start a family with a new female, obviously, otherwise it's inbreeding. And they know that you don't inbreed. So they go and start their own pack and they become an alpha male. Sometimes they do want to be adopted into another pack to meet a female. So, you get those situations. But that guy actually retracted his story and said that he was wrong. But I mean, we just took that story and we went with it. So he was wrong because he studied wolves in captivity, where it wasn't an actual family to start with.
Yeah, what I read up
So
about
that,
wolves is really that they are a pact and they live together with love and respect, which is a beautiful way of that we as humans can also learn from. Yeah,
and that's the totem of the wolf, is that family. It's the
yeah,
pack, and the strength is in the pack. And the strength comes from love and respect. So you don't have strength if the pack is divided. So I read your notes on the number 14 and what the wolf means. And I saw that you said that the wolf often hunts alone. I don't believe that that is true, unless it's a single wolf going out to go and find a pack or create a pack of his own. Wolves always hunt together because it's the strength of the pack. And do you know that they actually howl to psych themselves up for the hunt? My wolves howl before, when they know it's breakfast and dinner time. So
yeah.
they start howling to psych up that energy. And the
Yes.
whole thing of howling at the full moon is also a lot of bull. They howl every day, so it's not just about the full moon. I believe as an animal communicator, you can also see in the full moon that all the animals are more active because they can see better. So you will also hear the neighborhood dogs being more active or howling or something when it's full moon, because they are just more aware at full moon time, because it's not as dark, where they relax more and they go more into a non-active state. But just wanting to come back to the whole cat thing, you know that wolves are more like cats than like dogs. They are
I
actually
didn't know
more
that.
nocturnal.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're actually more nocturnal. And I mean, they are completely like cats when it comes to their names or to listening. It's always, they only listen when they want to, like cats do. They will only listen to their name if they want to or when they're hungry. So, and otherwise they ignore you. They are quite happy to be on their own and to do things on their own. But what's important and what that wolf probably didn't have was the bonding when it was really small. They have
Yeah,
to
or the
bond.
correct bonding. Yeah. He was alone with
Yes.
people. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's true.
So I get my puppies very small in the first place because then they are still smaller than my cats. They adapt much easier to my cats. For the people that don't know, I've got 11 rescue cats. And my wolves and my cats all get along. They all sleep together on the bed or the sofas or wherever they want to be. My house is open to the wolves. They can go where they want. Um, when somebody wants the door opened or closed, that's what I do. That's my role. So, but the bonding is really important, and wolves grow very fast. to
Yeah.
adapt in the wild to survive. So a wolf puppy at 4 weeks can already eat. It can already start taking care of itself, hiding, running away, and adapting. By 7 months old, they are already their full adult size.
Wow.
And then those young ones that are about 7 months or so, they take care of the younger puppies, especially the young males. They become like the nannies when the mothers go hunting. So they look after the puppies, they teach them, they keep them safe. Here's while I can see it always with the youngest wolf, when I bring in a puppy, they make sure that they can't get in danger. They stay between them and water, or even the flower bed, the little edge. They stand so that the baby can't roll over into the flower bed. Beautiful things like that. And wolves just adopt the babies. They're not like dogs. They are so open to those newcomers in the pack, but they teach them. They are firm, but very loving.
So even if it's not their own babies, so they adopt other wolves' babies easily. They're not like some humans. They really open to take any babies and they treat them with respect as if they are
Yeah,
their
and I
own.
mean, it's like, yeah, because cats don't adopt little ones very easily. When a cat does adopt a little one from another mother, it's usually a whole process to get them there. to just, allow that kitten into their space. The whole thing. Not with the wolves. I mean, I let the babies out and it's immediate connection. But like I say, they will still warn them when they get irritated or whatever, but it's always simple. There's no harm done.
Cool. Is there perhaps a message that you can give to us from the wolves? You've said a lot now that we can actually take with us, but are there a special message? What is the connection, the energetic connection to people, except for respect and bringing the pack together?
The message from the wolves at this stage is very much the same as other wild animals kept in captivity. When people say, how can you keep them in captivity? But remember, I've got a 4,000 square meter space for them. So, and I've got a big house. Ilse knows it used to be her house, but you can't keep them in a small space. So it's that respect. The message from them and the message I've received from lions and tigers being kept in captivity is that this is a stage on earth where we need to learn to live together, and not people as the dominant, as I'm allowed to rule nature, but getting together in that knowing of each other, because the wild is shrinking. And if we don't learn to start cohabitating, all these species are going to die out. So, and wolves are very spiritual. So they always give me messages as to, I often post on Facebook wolf wisdom that they share with me. And like my eldest wolf, Odin, always used to share with me how to connect deeper to nature, how to be more aware, how to find balance. They are extremely wise.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand that they are really, I think if I look at animals, they are really very deep into the subconscious, and that wisdom that we've suppressed so deep into our subconscious, it almost feels like they help us to get it out in the open again, to release that inner wisdom. Um, and a big thing I think that the world are going through at the moment is we are all one, and to live together with respect and harmony, and really see and treat each other for who we are. And yeah, that's the way forward for me, to live in harmony as animals, plants, people. I think sometimes even we as people can't make it to live in harmony together. But if we can really see each other and respect each other for who we are, it will already make a big change in the world. Oh, is anything else that you want to share? There's about 5 minutes more.
I want to share that, a lot of people think that wolves are almost evil because they're always portrayed like that they're always angry and they always want to fight, and wolves aren't like that at all. A wolf will never attack. They are very aloof. They will rather run and hide than attack unless they really feel threatened. And the compassion I see with these wolves in the way that they treat my cats, even when the cats are nasty, there's a matter of respect. And when people ask me, what do they talk to each other about? I said, but animals don't have conversations. They are just aware of the other one's energy in their space, and they respect that energy. But I just wanted to share about that compassion and that gentleness and how misunderstood these creatures are. And I think most wildlife are like that.
Exactly.
They just want to exist. It's us that bring the stress to them. They don't bring it into our world at all.
Exactly. And that's what we buy into. You can also see with the baboons that we have in Pringle Bay, it's the same thing. They just want to respect and do their thing in nature, like who they are. But people have a certain connotation and then they treat them that way, and then they actually create issues, which is not supposed to be there. Yeah, I think if we just really listen and be quiet in nature, we can really learn to be in harmony and live beautifully together without this constant fighting or who's the dominant one or whatever. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Absolutely. And
what food do
when
you feed them?
Sorry?
I'm saying, what food do you feed your wolves?
Wolves need a high protein diet. So I do feed them pellets as well, that my vet suggested. And then I try to source as much bones that was hunted in a very compassionate way. So I have clients that are bow hunters that hunt and then use the whole animal, and because they can just give me the carcass or pieces of the carcass, then I use that for my wolves as well. So, but they do very well on that food. I just watch them always and check what they need. So sometimes I also give them extra powder or something. Akita struggles with the hip, but I found out it's because she eats too much tomatoes.
Tomatoes.
Because she loves fruit. When I make my smoothie in the morning, I'm always feeding her strawberries and banana and carrots and things. And she used to sit with me while I chopped the tomatoes, and I would give her the pieces that fell off. And then I realized that not Akita or I can eat tomatoes because we struggle with our hips. So there was something else I also just wanted to say. I'm trying to think what it was. Oh, in the communication with any animal, it's that absolute respect of nature. When I do an animal communication course, the first thing I tell people is you cannot go in with ego. You need to go in humility, bring yourself down into that level of nature and just come in love and compassion. You cannot experience anything in a pure way if you don't humble yourself or work on humbling yourself, because as soon as you bring ego into it or needing to be right or anything like that, you're going to hit a wall. So, and that's what you said, Ilse, is that getting to know the other, also with other humans. I mean, you can't understand what somebody else is going through if you go into a situation with your ego and already thinking what you think of this person or what's going on here. And we need that humbling experience to return to nature in a very real way.
Yeah, that's so true. And sometimes we really address the world through our belief systems or our programming, which is not actually necessary in the moment. So to really get that out of the way is actually the only way that we can really connect with other animals or other species if we are out of the way. Yeah, thank you so much. It was beautiful. I don't know, Marissa, if you've got something else to ask or to say.
No, I loved every minute of it. It was very informative.
Thank you, Belinda.
Thank you.
Anything else from your side or from the wolf side?
I can speak for hours about it. So Finn is here with me in my office. He's sleeping here. So let me just tune in and see what he has to say.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, Finn, he doesn't like people. He's the only one that I have to keep away from people because there was a situation with a gardener when he was a puppy, and the gardener threw a fit and got angry at me because I asked him to not come late anymore. And Finn didn't know what to do. And from there, he became very protective of me and my daughter because he's actually my daughter's wolf. Her Finn says they just want understanding. And I think that's the same for humans as well. We just want love and understanding. And every single animal out there just wants love and companionship. And there's so much they can teach us. And that's what Finn is showing me. Just allow that space and allow yourself to be with your dog or your cat or your pet as well. We tend to make them children or make them outside animals. Respect them to be what they are and what they come to show you, teach you in the matter of being on earth and cohabitating with animals.
Thank you. That's beautiful. And then I just want to end off. I've got this beautiful pack of animal cards by Chip Richards. And what he says at the end of the wolf card, it's really a beautiful card of a timber wolf. He says, I'm at home with my tribe and I feel a sense of belonging in the world, guided by my instincts and the voice of God within. My actions are a service of the greater whole. Isn't that beautiful? And I think it's a message for us to really go within and follow that voice that we have within. And if we do that, we will be able to live in harmony with any animal, plant, person, because that is our guidance from the inside, from the higher perspective. So thank you so much. It was really lovely to learn more about wolves and for what you do and how you treat them and how we can learn from our other beings that shares this planet with us. So thank you all very much.
Dankie Ilse, dankie Belinda.
Okay, ek gaan nou die